Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and I hope everybody could hear me okay and all that jazz. Going live off the cuff here. Wanted to talk a little bit about Obi-Wan Kenobi today. We had I hope you all had a fun night last night watching Book of Boba Fett, or today. I'm left underwhelmed, but the silver lining has been Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's been okay. If that doesn't work for you, don't worry. There's this other thing. And that's important just to remember in general. There's always this other thing. There's always another thing. So, you don't have to get too depressed. And if you loved it, then that's great. But today they've released they've released the release date and given us the poster for Kenobi. And I threw in a little bit of spoilery tidbits into my article on it. So I'm trying to get back into writing the website. And so I have this article up on the old MakingStarWars.net right now. And Star Wars Obi-Wan release date, teaser poster, plus some minor spoiler tidbits. So Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi has a release date and poster. Kenobi will hit Disney Plus on May 25th, 2022. We only have 3 short months until we see Kenobi walking along the desert of Tatooine for a bit. May 25th is, of course, the birthday of Star Wars A New Hope. And then we have the poster right here. We'll take a closer look at the poster in a second. And then we also get this better look at Kenobi here. And as you can see, Kenobi is looking rough. So we're going to jump into a little tiny baby bit of the spoiler tidbits here. So if you are not a spoiler person, then you should probably jump out of this for what it's worth. The spoiler's not big. It's not huge. It's not going to ruin it for you. I would still suggest that you don't go around talking about it publicly. Just, keep the spoilers to yourself. That's what I say for the most part on social media and stuff. Just try not to be a jerk. But basically, Kenobi doesn't just become the guy we know in A New Hope and that sweet bachelor pad from 1997 special edition. Remember that little house with little chimney smoke coming out? Earlier in the year, they were filming Kenobi in all kinds of cave base sets, and Obi-Wan Kenobi appears to have to hunt for food and sleep on a cave floor. The cave, which I mentioned here on the Making Star Wars show last summer, paints a picture of a man struggling with post-traumatic stress disorder and the harsh life of the desert. So the picture that has been painted for me is that Kenobi is dropped off on Tatooine. He delivers Luke to Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. And after that, he's pretty much on his own. There isn't any secret money coming from Bail Organa to help him out. That house wasn't just there waiting for him. None of that. He's having to survive. He's having to live in the wilderness of Tatooine that entire time while watching over Luke. So for the better part of 10 years, Kenobi just lives in caves and is getting by watching over Luke Skywalker. Kenobi's watch is difficult. I assume that sometime after the series, Kenobi gets the house that he takes Luke back to where he gives him the lightsaber and all that jazz. But at this point, he's roughing it out there in the wilderness, and I think the poster exemplifies this cave life. And make sure you subscribe to Making Star Wars on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and like the video if you have not. You should like it. Here's the actual high-res image of the poster. Not really. This is what the PR sent out, and so right here, yeah, you can see Kenobi, and with his new. I don't like to use the word new, but his really scuzzy clothes. He's like I said, he's roughing it, man. And we get May 20th Obi-Wan Kenobi, May 25th, only on Disney Plus. So May 25th, and that's, of course, the anniversary of A New Hope. So, which seems very fitting considering what goes on in this show and how this show goes. So, yeah, but gotta say, I am very excited. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh man, more desert sand," but don't worry, Kenobi goes off world, and so. It won't be. We're not getting I don't believe we're getting another Book of Boba Fett where everything is on Tatooine and we don't go anywhere else. That's not happening here. So, but I also gotta say, I liked in the poster they captured that purple look of Tatooine very well. I'm happy to see it. So, what are you asking me? What do Star Wars soap do you think Ahsoka smells like? Wisdom wash or dark side scrub? And I don't know. I bet it's like lemon pledge. Star Wars in game. Lots of Star Wars coming in all different forms of media. So this little Book of Boba Fett stint thing is just a blip. Yeah, I mean, I'm even gonna say there's a chance that I may appreciate Book of Boba Fett even more after this year. Not because what we're getting is so bad that I'm like, oh man, now those were the golden times. That was the golden years of Star Wars right there. That 6 weeks, 7 weeks. No, it's that this other stuff is a bit heavier, I think. A little bit heavier, a little bit more maybe violent at times as well. I've ran a couple of things this week, talking about some Kenobi stuff and some like preliminary stuff, if you will. And, yesterday, excuse me, yesterday I was talking about how, one of the Inquisitors cuts off somebody's hands. That's crazy. That's not the kind of stuff we got in Star Wars Kenobi. Star Wars Book of Boba Fett. I'm sorry. I'm dying here, you guys. Give me a sec. It is the weirdest weather right now in Southern California. It's like 95 degrees and the Santa Ana winds are blowing, I think. So I'm just like, I'm turning into General Grievous here. It's not the virus. It's just allergies, thankfully. But yeah. But anyways, I have a feeling that like the Book of Boba and then Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then when you get down the road a little bit and we get into the other shows, Cassian, and then finally we got Ahsoka and more Mando. These different flavors of Star Wars are all going to be very much touched on, tasted, checkboxed, however you want to look at it, But like my buddy here says, okay, wait, you messaged me, and then you're okay. Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. Oh yeah, no, I got that beautiful boy up on the stream right now, Mr. Bespin, Mr. Bulletin. Please, my father was Bulletin. Call me Bespin. So yeah. Darth Del Rio asks, do you think they dropped this to change the Star Wars conversation away from Boba? I don't think so. I don't think they're that fast to react. But I do think that if they know that the very inevitable question of the mindless consumer fan base of Star Wars is always, what's next? Gorge, what's next? We're all Jabba the Hutts for this stuff. So what's next? And this was the time, I think, to put that out there. So I think they did the right thing. Would I have been happy if they had done it last night? If there had been a little, thing just showing this, like one of those animated posters of this, and it said May 25th. Yeah, that would have been nice. At the same time, I kind of like that they didn't, in that sometimes when they do that kind of thing, it becomes apples or oranges. It's either or. And I don't see why it's like a choice. You know how people are. People tend to be almost there's a predisposition to Coke or Pepsi. We're stupid. And but in reality, you can have both. So, and like Francisco here, he is pumped, and I am too. I agree. Why not May the 4th? Because May the 4th is a corny pun. That's my take. I mean, I like May 25th better than May the 4th, honestly. It's May the 4th is a dad joke to me that's run its course. If we are going to use it as the Star Wars Focus Day for marketing events that are very uninspired, I'm okay with that. But if you ask me, what's the special Star Wars Day? It's always May 25th. And in fact, I would give them a lot of credit if they went Revenge of the Fifth and just turn the whole thing on its head, because why not? But yeah, May the 4th has never really been that important. We did get Bad Batch one time, but for the most part, it's an excuse to market 20% off t-shirts kind of stuff, right? I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, might as well be laugh like a fucking pirate day, as far as I'm concerned. What else we got here? Jonathan says the Book of Boba Fett looked like a series sanctioned by the Disney executives and shoehorned by Jean Favreau and Dave Filoni. Kenobi seems to be more nuanced and focused. That is my impression as well. I feel like Book of Boba Fett was in some ways about embracing the eccentricities, and what's badass about Star Wars was what they were trying to go with. Just badass this, badass that, just badassery all around. But in the end, the show for me wasn't very dynamic. I watched the finale again today when I got up, and it was really probably the first time. I think Star Wars Boba Fett in Book of Boba Fett in total is the first time that something has in totality disappointed me. I would give it a C, out of an A, B, C, D, F rating. I would give it a C. And it's the first time. Usually I'll come out hot. Oh my God, I love it. I want to watch it again. And then it'll sit for 6 months or a year. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? It was okay. It was, like Solo. I love the movie. Is Solo like a must see? Not really. It's just, that's my true opinion. It's good, but it's not like you must see this Star Wars movie. If time travelers came from 1995 to today, and they're like, what's happened? Oh, dude, they made a bunch of Star Wars. Really? Yeah. You got to see the Han Solo movie. That would not be there. We would go somewhere else first. I think. So that's just me, though. You're free to think whatever you want. But so anyways, today I got up and I watched it again. Me and Rob talked, and we really just weren't like, oh, let's jump back in and discuss this. I really don't feel like there's a lot more for me to say. I could do almost like for fun all the stupid shit in this episode video if I wanted to. Like, why do you put Gamorrean guards at the corner or, off on it? Why are they guarding a cliffside? I mean, why? So they could push him off. Like everything was just softball. Everything was a T-ball hit, So anyways, but I don't need it to be realistic. But if it was fun, if it was more fun, I wouldn't even have noticed that, That's kind of where I'm at with it. But Francisco says, and do you think this should have been a post-credit scene for Boba series finale instead of a poster? Well, I am glad that they didn't kill Cobb Vanth. It's not really a post-credit scene, but the credit scene with Cobb Vanth. I don't even actually like it. That moment, I didn't think that was special. I just like that they were like, oh, don't worry, nothing in this show mattered. That's kind of my take. I know, May 25th, right? I am so excited. So, BB, Book of Boba Fett Season 2 likely between now and then? I don't know. I was under the impression that there was one coming, but maybe it's just going to be absorbed into the general story, of the Filoni Favreau Star Wars universe. But that said, as far as I know, or from what I understand, my very shallow understanding of this part of it is, Ahsoka's first. Like they need to get Ahsoka taken care of, and then they'll probably think about that stuff or move closer to it. So Moon Knight will be airing its final episode, so not early May. Yeah, that's why it's May 25th. And there's always a chance we're gonna get like Bad Batch or something like that. I really don't see why Bad Batch can't air at the same time as this. You know, I don't know if I feel like the people who would watch Bad Batch are going to be watching everything, no matter when it comes out, no matter when. It doesn't matter when. They'll watch everything. I'm one of them, you know, and I wouldn't mind more Bad Batch right now. If we just go by what has happened classically, I think a trailer will be in about a month. We're about a month away from a trailer, and yeah, and I've seen a lot from Kenobi over this last year, quite a bit actually. So when that trailer hits, I'll probably be able to explain it to you. Maybe, unless well, I will. Book of Boba Fett was a little clumsy, unfortunately. Likable, but alas, clumsy. Do we know how long each episode of Kenobi is? Is it more consistent in length? From what I heard, so I know somebody who's seen a bunch of it already and not finished or anything like that. But I was told that and this is just them kind of like off the cuff, that they're about 45 minutes each, in that vicinity. And I don't know how far they are in their editing and stuff like that, but yeah, you could expect that 40 to 50 minutes per thing. I would probably scale it down. Expect like 44 minutes. If you expect 44 minutes, you'll probably be in the right place for the show, as far as I know, anyway, to the best of my knowledge. So Jonathan says, I'd give it a C or a C minus. The best episodes were the Mando ones. That says a lot about the series. Please, no more Rodriguez. No season 2. Absorb Boba in another series. That would make sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess like I agree with you. I am more of it being a C, and that's because of the Luke Skywalker episode, and because of the Mando moments, and because of things like seeing Boba climb out of the Sarlacc, just getting it, But everything else that came with it, that it entailed, not too big on, But teaser for the trailer for the Super Bowl is that in about a month? When is the Super Bowl? I mean, Super Bowl could be an exception. I don't really follow sports, so I don't really know when it is. I just know the Rams are in it, and people around here light off fireworks. That's what I know. But and it uses Roman numerals like it's like they've made one too many Star Wars movies. When Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm decided to drop the Roman numerals on the episode 7, 8, and 9, I was like, oh, so that's what they were thinking, because I have no idea what Super Bowl number that is. I just look at it and I'm like, what is that? But anyways, yeah. But what do you guys think of this this little tidbit that I've laid out here, that Kenobi's living on cave floors, sleeping on cave floors, and that he's having to like hunt for his food and stuff, did you see that coming? Because I remember when I saw a picture not unlike this one of him in a cave, but it looked like his hair was wet, to be honest with you. But maybe it was sweaty, or maybe there was something going on behind the scenes. I don't know. But I didn't expect that. I, for whatever reason, just expected that he landed and he had, $10,000 in his pocket from, from Bel Organa or something to like get established. You know what I mean? Secret money or something stashed away that they were funneling to him just to like keep him afloat. That isn't the case. They can't risk anything. So there is no, there is nothing. Yeah, he's missing his EOP. And Book of Boba was real messy. Yeah, by the way, there was concept art showing him on the EOP, and I've seen some stuff of him riding a mount, but it's not real, so I'm not sure which one it was. But I'm just gonna bet it was the EOP based off of the concept art, But Book of Boba was real messy, but the finale was solid Star Wars fun, in my own opinion. Fun schlock with the Rancor, and you gotta ship Pelimoto with the Major Domo. Yeah, I love Pelimoto. I think she's fantastic. You know, you could read my article from her first episode. I was elated, and then everyone else was like mad. You know, but I have a feeling that the people who are mad are changing their tune. That's what makes me sad about like Jar Jar Binks and the fact that they haven't gone back to Jar Jar. Is if Jar Jar had been a part of this television universe, people would have been mad for a couple of days, and then they would have been able to give us moments that endear you to him. Oh, they need to bring Jar Jar back. They really do. They're fucking up on that front. Chris says, shouldn't the Jedi have some extra credits they could have gave him? Apparently not. You know, I without going too far, this series, the paranoia level is through the roof. You know, this man, and they have the biggest secret in the galaxy. Does that make sense? They have, and the last thing that you want to do is appear to be anybody who would have any of those things. You want to be dismissed. You don't want to be looked at. You don't want to be considered. And that's where they're at. I don't know. I don't know if Cad Bane is in Kenobi, but that would be kind of cool, right? You guys think Cad Bane was alive? I watched it again, and he definitely does appear that, you know, he has those things, and that thing is working. So I kind of think he's alive. And I gotta say, I'm glad ultimately that he is alive, because I don't think that was the place to kill him after we just got him in live action. He's too good for that. He's too fun. But if he's not dead, and Cobb Vanth's not dead, and Boba's not dead, and Fennec's not dead, nobody's dead. Nobody dies in this show. So I wonder what the rain is like on Tatooine. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not. I wonder if he gets the house in this show. I don't even know if he does. You know, but maybe when he returns to Tatooine after the show. Francis Cisco says, I'm surprised I like the title now. It looks good. I just remember wanting it to be just Kenobi. Yeah. I would have been okay with that too. But I'm glad that it, you know, I'm glad it's not a Book of Boba Fett was one I thought had an angle to it. I thought there was an angle. In the end, it was just a dumb title. I got to be honest. It's just, yeah, not very good. Pelimoto fucks. That is true. Give Bryce Dallas Howard her own movie or series. I enjoyed the heck out of Boba, but feel it needed a better director. I truly enjoyed all of it. Yeah. I gotta say, like, I in no way do not believe in Bryce Dallas Howard. I think we saw real growth. Her first episode had a ton of potential. There were things about it that looked cheap. Some of that was from the direction. Some of it was the fact that all of the people were wearing the same dorky costume, so it looked like it was Star Trek in the 90s or something. That I didn't appreciate. I don't know if that's her fault or how much power she had over that. But as we've seen things go on, she definitely knows what she's doing, you know. And I hear she's a real actor's director, as an actor is, you know. That's what you would expect. You know, usually people aren't an actor and then just jump, and all of a sudden it's completely different, you know. But Francisco says, also, this poster is incredible. I would hang it on my wall. The Star Wars posters have been better than the Marvel ones. Yeah, the Book of Boba posters, I also just the character posters, that kind of thing. I don't really, it doesn't really do much for me. I mean, those are social media awareness posters, which is what they really are. And you know, Solo did those character posters too, and I didn't actually like those in the end. After, like, the more I got away from them, the more I'm like, it doesn't really work. I love this poster for what it's pretty. This poster is very, very pretty. So I'm all for this poster in particular, and the colors on it and stuff. I find it nice. A little bit, you know, like Rob, who I'm sure will go over it when he comes on later, or tomorrow or whatever. But he was like, "Oh, more Tatooine." After Book of Boba, I kind of understand that feeling. So Obi-Wan should be hunting for Strange. Honestly, he's got to smell like a wet dog at that point. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work out too well for him, but he goes over to Mos Espa. You know, I mean, gotta think about it. He goes over to Mos Espa. I wonder if what's her name owns that cantina yet, because that's where I would go. Soundwave says, if I was Ewan McGregor. Soundwave 8115 says, look, those Jedi black cards ain't gonna work when the Empire takes the bank accounts. That's true. Yeah, that is true. You know, yeah, he's I mean, when you really get down to it, I guess, you know, the crazy old hermit. I mean, but that just really is almost like he's just like a crazy homeless person out in the desert is kind of how they are going to view him, and that's a pretty good cover. But you know, yes, more Jar Jar. Also cast Ahmed Best as Mr. Fantastic. Yes, there we go. Put Ahmed Best back in Star Wars, you savages. Francisco says, what do you know about Kenobi? Sorry for so many questions. Well, let me tell you how it begins. No, in time. I will. I have some stuff I will hopefully talk about soon. I think Cad is alive. 99% says our buddy real Ben Maynard. How you doing, Ben? Yeah, I'm with you too. I think Cad's alive. I think for sure. The pigs are dead. The pigs, yeah, they're not coming back, and you know, it's all right, I guess. Yeah, and then he says Cad's Alice, but he means Cad's alive, and I tend to agree. So hey, Jedi Chris, how you doing? So yeah, thankfully a few mods died. We saw mods like get shot and like look injured, but then I felt like when we go, I felt like they were back there at the end. Oh, that ending when I watched it the second time was so much more cringy. It was cringy the first time, but it was so much more cringy when she's like, "Oh, Chrysanthemum, do you want to share like the fruit he has or whatever?" It really occurred to me that throughout the show, he's pushing Pomp down. He doesn't want any of that pomp. But I feel like now that he's truly the daimyo of the place, there really should have that should have ended in almost in a classic Star Wars parade moment with everybody standing at the end that barely makes sense. And the people of Mos Espa should have just done it for him, and he had no choice. You know what I mean? Like that's how I would have done it, because in the end, it's just like, well, we did it. And then they're all a family. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this bullshit? That's how I felt about it when I saw it. Even both times. But I even bet the Gamorreans survived. You know, we got this little I got some of this Gamorrean padding. I'll jump off the roof and see how it feels. See if I last. So Son of the Poster looks like Pac-Man. It does look like Pac-Man. You're right. Hey, look, it's Pac-Man. Wait, where's Pac-Man? Can I zoom in on this anymore? No, the browser won't let me. That is Pac-Man's going to get Obi-Wan. Oh, you can't unsee it, Craig. You ruined it, Craig. Thanks, Craig. Everybody thank Craig for ruining the Kenobi poster for him. No, you're right, Craig. It does look like Pac-Man. Cad Bane is awesome. I hope we see him in Andor or Kenobi. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope he's always around. I mean, the thing with the mods is in that concept is they can make him more techie if they need to. I mean, we have all that stuff going on there. Maybe the mods wouldn't mod. Maybe the mods wouldn't mod Cad Bane since he's in a different faction now. But I mean, he was already kind of on that life support system and stuff. So yeah, I hope he comes back because he's one of the best Star Wars characters in that Ahsoka era. You know, Ahsoka, Hondo Ohnaka, and Cad Bane are the best three Clone Wars characters, I think. I like Rex, but he's not I don't think it's as cool. The young boomer says, still sore we didn't get Bosk, especially as Trandoshan Mask this series looked fantastic. The fight with Krasantan would have been a great opportunity to feature him even briefly. Yeah, when you keep watching this show, the Trandoshans are the natural enemies of the Wookiee, but their strategy is to lay on him. They're not biting him that I could see. They're not stabbing him with knives. They're not shooting him with guns. They're just laying on him. Like he's their friend who took too much acid and won't be chill at a party. I don't really get it. I don't know what they were thinking. And Star Wars is something that is rewatched over and over. Remember, like for years, nobody really talked about Force Kick with Luke on the skiff. This show is gonna, if people continue to watch it, if it doesn't just fall off the face of our Star Wars fan consciousness, we're gonna be laughing about that for some of that shit forever. I think I really, really, truly have not heard about the problems of Boba coming to Kenobi. If you want to trust me on something one time, this is the one where I would trust me. Kenobi is going to deliver a very solid, respectful, and I think well thought out version of Obi-Wan, and I don't think it's going to have any of that kind of silliness. To the best of my knowledge, right now, I've had a very different vibe, and I got to be honest with you. I ended up learning a lot more about Kenobi more recently, but it was so different, and it was pretty much what we got. And it was so different than what I was hearing from all of everyone else releasing scoops that I thought, well, I wasn't really looking into this one when it was happening. So maybe what I know is wrong or whatever. And I just left it alone. I just thought like, maybe they know better, but the other scoops on Boba for the most part weren't that good. And, but I worked on scooping Kenobi, and I'm not getting the same vibes. So that's my promise. That's my guarantee. All right. So looking, we will. Jedi Chris says, looking, we'll get a scenic version of Tatooine. Yeah, I mean, also remember, he's not going to be on Tatooine the whole time either. Like, I don't know how long he's on Tatooine for, but he's not going to be on Tatooine the whole time. So, do you think we'll see Tar Vizsla trilogy on film arc based 1,000 years ago? I don't know. A part of me kept thinking that they were going to bring back that armor from Solo, that Boba or Mandalorian armor from Solo: A Star Wars Story. That we see in the back there. I thought that was going to come into play somehow eventually. I think it should. It would be cool if it did. Especially if they do pick up Crimson Dawn threads someday. But once again, nothing from the Crimson Dawn stuff ended up panning out. And the question is do you... I feel like where we could see this is if they start to bring Grogu into becoming the new version of Tar. I think the story is going in that direction, that he becomes a Mandalorian, and he's chosen to become a Mandalorian. So I think he's going to eventually get a full armor set, and Din will die and the sword will go to him, or something like that. Or they'll put it into the future, and maybe Din lives a full nice life. And around episode 10 times, after episode 9, maybe he dies of natural old age. The sword is there, and then chaos breaks out. Now, 20-year-old equivalent Grogu has to do what he has to do for the sword. And, I could see them doing a story like that. And maybe in that, they'll like prophesize he is Tar returning kind of thing or something. I don't know. But I could see them doing that. Okay. So Jason, nice name. I approve. Which, based on rumors and tidbits, wait, is there two? Did you have two? I don't see the other part. Based on rumors and tidbits, reinforces the dialogue in A New Hope that old Ben is crazy old man and a hermit. Yeah, it does. It does. And when he had his own house, though, like you could be a hermit, in the city. But when we see this version of it, you're like, oh, people must just think he's a maniac. I don't know what they think, if they even do. Maybe Watto is the one that hooks him up with the house. I want to see Watto. I want Watto to come back. I want Watto and Jar Jar back. Really hoping for interactions between Owen and Obi-Wan, since Owen makes it sound like he's no fan of Obi. I'm going to be quiet, but you won't be disappointed. I promise. And obviously the casting is there, but I promise that you won't be disappointed on that. You're going to understand Owen a lot better. There's a scene in the audio drama of A New Hope that talks about how Kenobi can get what he wants without any money passing through his hands. Yeah. It doesn't sound like that's where they're going in the show. I don't think. How did Black Satin keep getting blasted and is cool? Laugh out loud. Yeah, I mean that was like, I mean, like a part of me is okay with it to some extent. It's just, it was just like a bit much. I feel like everything that they filmed was kind of fine, but when you put it together in totality, the edit needed to be more conscious of that kind of stuff. Biden's inauguration with the Phantom Menace parade music. La 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 la. Which, based on rumors that she posted, reinforces the dialogue. Okay, yeah, we went there. Pac-Man confirmed by Jason Ward. Time to report it. Laugh out loud, right? It is time. Pac-Man. Pac-Man. I just see Pac-Man now. Chomp, chomp. Somebody needs to Force Ghost him. Make him into the Force Ghost, so that way the Pac-Man is going to eat the ghost. Hondo is my hope for Kenobi. We will see about that, right? Maud's lost 3 friends when Fennec saved them, and she looks at Fennec, smiles, and says, thanks. 3 of your friends are dead next to you. Smile was a bit much, laugh out loud. Yeah, see, that's where you get into the classic Star Wars conundrum of how much do you linger on stuff, but in this instance, when it's not working, you really do catch it. I mean, Luke Skywalker's aunt and uncle died, and he was just like, well, here we go. Hee. But yeah, I and once again, I am not against ideas of things like the Bechdel test, but was that just like to be like women talk to each other in this episode or something? Because it felt like it was forced in, and then it didn't feel like it was well written. It felt like they were just like, it was just like lazy. It was just lazy. I don't understand why they did it. Why they did it that way. And she's supposed to be like this like tough street punk, and she's like really grateful. It just was so. It was just dumb. At the end of the day, it was just dumb. But I'm a shill, so what do I know? Star Wars: The Game says, nice thing about mods is you just take them back to the shop when they break. Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, they're just hugging the crap out of them. Hello, Mr. Washington. But what's crazy is the normies in the house who didn't know Cad's name all gave this episode a 10 out of 10. The 2 Star Wars jockeys gave it a 5 out of 6. Yeah, see, and that's like where it's kind of weird, because if you've been like us, I assume Peter, I'm assuming Peter's not your real name, but if you've had Cad Bane in your Star Wars brain for the last decade or more now, since like 2008, this was very cool. It was nice to see. That part was well done, but it was nothing necessarily new. And so if this is your first interaction with Cad Bane, he might have just made it, and like I did see Star Wars fans that was like, that Rancor, I don't care what happened, that Rancor did it for me. I'm not that easy to please on that front. That's just me. I did like the King Kong stuff. I actually thought that was pretty fun, but wasn't really that crazy about it at the end. I think you see the tower. If I didn't freeze frame it or anything like that, but the tower is just fine. It gets all torn up and then it's fine the next day. So, will James Earl Jones be voicing Vader and Kenobi, or will they go for the video game actors? So, in an article I wrote yesterday, I wrote up an article on MakingStarWars.net where I went into the various people who are bringing Darth Vader to life in Star Wars Kenobi. You know, the person who's the standing actor, the sword master, and Hayden Christensen. And so in that article, I hit on that. And it was spoken about like James Earl Jones was a given. But I never got it confirmed that he had recorded his stuff or that it happened. So take from that what you will. But I do think it is James Earl Jones. And if the Super Bowl isn't some wild card, I think we will get what are we in? We're in February, March, April, May. So I'm going to say like maybe around March 25th ish in that window. About 2 months before is when we have classically seen the trailers drop for these shows. Because the thing about it is that if they need to start building awareness, they want you to subscribe or not unsubscribe. And so they put it in the they try to get the hype out in the magic point that you don't unsubscribe or you do subscribe. And so that's where I think we're at with that stuff. So teaser at the Super Bowl, and no one's told me when the Super Bowl is, so I'm not sure when it is, but a trailer on May 4th would be nice, you know. And I'm not sure if there's any Cody flashbacks, honestly. I don't know. Real Ben Maynard says, I need Kenobi right now. He's not far. Just enough time for us to get a little bit thirsty in the sweaty deserts of this fandom, you know. But Watto, a Star Wars sitcom taking place between episode 1 and 2, co-starring Warwick Davis. Hey, I would watch it. Let's do it. Or any older clones showing up in various art. Yeah, so far I don't know of any. Personally, I don't know of any. So, but the minute I can, you know, yeah. Do you think anyone will, or tying Obi-Wan in with the Mandalorian will happen? We'll need to hear if there is another. It's actually Grogu. Also, think he was rescued by Obi-Wan after Order 666. So, without going into any specifics at the moment, I don't think Grogu is mentioned in Kenobi, but I've heard of something in Kenobi that could connect, but I haven't made the connection yet. So lean more towards no, but I'm not saying no. I'm saying let me keep working. Kenobi out in the desert doing a shit ton of the nose lizard. Yeah, I mean I think he's hooked on it. I think he goes out there and he just thinks, oh, this is what they do here, and then he gets hooked on it, you know. And that's why for 10 years he's living in caves. Drash smiled at Fennec like she had her first lesbian crush. Hey, I'm into it. I'd watch that. I'm such a piece of shit. Jonathan says, do you think we'll get the story of the Wills shown in Kenobi series akin to the Yoda arc in Clone Wars? I don't think so. But I hope I'm wrong. There could be stuff in there, but as far as I know, I don't think so. What else we got here? James says, I wonder if they use the same virtual sets they use for Boba Fett for Obi-Wan. No, they are different. I mean, they use the volume and they built sets on location, and they built sets at the exterior location in El Segundo. So you have all of those places for it. I haven't got to see as much of the stuff from this as I would, of course, want. I mean, I want to see a lot more, but I do think that Kenobi has a better look to it. There's a chance some things were learned from Book of Boba that immediately went over into this one. I hope I am correct. You know, I hope I'm correct about that, but I think that's what's gone on here. because Book of Boba Mos Espa felt very small. It never felt big. We'd have these huge exterior, beautiful shots, and then these small, tight sets, and it didn't work. Not really. Soundwave says, "Is there any hope for new John Williams piece of music fits into the new trilogy of Duel of the Fates, Battle of the Heroes?" And yeah, wouldn't that be great? I haven't heard anything about Williams writing anything for the show, but it would be so good. This is the show that I think could use the John Williams approach a lot more than anything else. But if they don't go that way, I'm always down to try something new. So what do we got here? The Young Boomer says, with Cad Bane and Boba now doing, a shootout on Tatooine, I'm going to start manifesting a live-action adaptation of Crystal Crisis on Utapau, woven through Kenobi. Hey, I wouldn't mind if they pick that stuff up. Will Obi-Wan swing by Tashi Station? To the best of my knowledge, actually, I'm not sure where he goes. I'll be honest with you. There's exterior sets, but I don't know what they're supposed to be, and I didn't get the vibe it was Tashi Station though. But what do we got here? Kieran says, my theory: Obi-Wan TV show introduces another young Jedi as a hint that being that person rather than Leia. So Obi-Wan says, no, there's another. So when Obi-Wan says no, there's another as Force Ghost in Episode 5. I don't know. Or was it a hint? Jason, you left out my comment. How rude. I have a certain set of skills. I will find you. Yeah, if you find me, let's hang out. For a second, I thought Boba put Cat in the back to take. Oh, yeah, right? Yeah, they kind of did a thing where you were like, oh, they put, because he promises Black Chrysanthemum that he could use it. And so you're supposed to think it's him, and then you see Black Chrysanthemum, you're like, what's he doing here? And then you get the, I don't know. It was a thing. I hope we get more trippy Force shenanigans in the show. I hope so too. I am with you. Bring back Qui-Gon as a Force ghost. All the music in the Disney Plus shows so far has been amazing. Visions was dope. Yeah, you know what? I do have to say, I'm not disappointed in the music overall. Even Mandalorian has slowly become more, I would say, iconic. When you hear his little thing, like, What? So Star Wars Santa messaged me. Wait, let me see. Is this for public consumption? My comment keeps dropping on the YouTube app on my phone. I'm realizing that those pike blasters are crap. They pew pew just fine. They don't kill nothing. Yeah. I it's weird because I don't want to be the kind of nerd that just nitpick something to beat it to hell, but there were just certain things about the show that just didn't really were they supposed to be the Yakuza or something? Were they going with that with the pikes or something? Because it just kind of doesn't make sense. They have guards posted outside. They're like, But when you think back to mob movies and stuff, you'll see two guards out of the hospital room, for instance, or outside the office. But they're one's smoking a cigarette and one's playing with a deck of cards or something. They were like, we are the Queen's Guard. I was like, what is this? Is this the underworld, or is this Queen Amidala's idea of what a crime family is? Could Grogu show up in Obi-Wan? I'd say it's possible, but I don't think so. I haven't heard anything that was very conclusive on that. But if I hear it, I'll let you know. Mr. Maynard says, all this stuff, I'm manifesting a new live action holiday special for real. It would be fun. Star Wars needs to relax sometimes. Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. It would be kind of fun if you did one and you didn't take it seriously and you made it really corny on purpose, and you had Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg in the fucking cantina making fun of aliens and shit. I'd be okay with that. But Black Crescent turned into the family dog. You want a fruit bowl? Yeah, that was so fucking dumb. It was just that ending felt like the ending of one of the cartoons and not of live action Star Wars. There is a difference. The shit you can do animated, you can't do in live action. At least not really, but Oh wait, I just skipped Peter's comment. My Star Wars timeline is always messed. Obi-Wan is 10 to 15 years before the Boba timeline, so I'll make it easier for you. My sources have told me throughout this whole thing that Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi takes place 10 years after Order 66. So if that helps, and so that means we have 10 years until A New Hope, another 6 years until Return of the Jedi, I think. So then 6 years after that is Book of Boba. So that puts us like a good 21 years away from Book of Boba, basically. So can we expect more Mando spinoffs? LRM reported a Thrawn and Ezra point of view set after Ahsoka back in June 2020. They also reported on Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett back then too. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think LRM did a good job overall. Maybe better than most, I would say. I would say not even maybe. I think they did do a better job than most. I don't keep score. I'm not the kind of guy. But I think they had more like general stuff on. But from what I gather, I don't know why they would do that when that's coming in the Ahsoka show. So it's worth I don't know, maybe seeing what they're saying today as opposed to back then. But I don't know. But if they want to come and clarify, I would love to hear it. But honestly, okay, so Jordo says, honestly, find Boba as a character in general boring. Would have loved to have seen Tem as older Rex instead, and a Top Gun with Cobb Vanth and Rangers of the New Republic. Yeah, same. That would have been much better. Cobb Vanth should have his own show, and that is more than apparent at this point. And that's what Rangers, when I was told, was supposed to be. I think they're just going to retitle it. Personally, I think they're acting like it's dead. This is my conspiracy. I have the conspiracy hat on right now, okay? This is my conspiracy theory. Is that Gina Carano was a part of it. The politics shit happened. The mass shit happened. They fired her. Now they know that the right is going to use that to beat the show up and to piggyback onto their paid promotion for the show. So pretend to kill it, bring Cobb Vanth in to his own show, make it the same premise, make it the same show essentially without Gina Carano, and then they don't have that easy connection. It's a lot harder for them to have to explain that every time, and it doesn't become soundbited. But we don't live in a very forgiving society, so who knows? Kieran says Boba finale was too slow paced and the editing was poor, more like a Star Trek episode. It definitely felt more like a TV show than it felt like a film to me. That's for damn sure. And when they utilized the World Between Worlds in the Ahsoka show, and if so, who would they use it for, or what would they use it for? This is speculation on my part. I don't really know. So speculation on my part. I've always just assumed that they're looking for Ahsoka, and eventually they come to this conclusion that if Ahsoka could make it there, maybe she could look around, and because he's important, and with his important past or whatever, maybe she'll see him in one of those timelines and know where to start looking. Or maybe it opens with that, and then now she needs to find out what she actually saw when she looked through one of those doors or something like that. I'm just guessing though. I don't know. So, and then if we kept score, I bet I only beat Santa once this series, bottom of the class. Peter, come on, man. You can't vote with your heart. You got to vote with your head. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So I gave you guys a little tiny bone, a little tiny nugget. Living in a cave. We got the release date. We got the poster. So I think that's pretty nice for our Book of Boba Fett hangover. If you ask me, I think it's pretty nice. So, and I'm going to watch Book of Boba Fett as I this comment from Matt Tween. I think younger kids probably enjoyed Book of Boba finale more than the adults who had different expectations. You want to know what's funny? My kids didn't like the Luke Skywalker episode. They thought it was boring. it makes sense. I mean, as a kid, I didn't really like Yoda and Luke training. I liked seeing Yoda the puppet, and I was like, come on, let's get on with it. Let's get to Cloud City now. And so I think tonight my kids are going to have a good time. I'm hoping when I watch it with my kids, I hope if they are truly elated by it and truly love it, that it gives me a little bit more of I'm able to find my Christmas Star Wars spirit, if you will, So I'm gonna watch it with the kids tonight, and I don't grump stuff. I don't give them any like critical talk. I don't tell them, oh, this sucks, I don't do that. I just go, yeah, let's watch it, and then I watch it, and then let them enjoy themselves, because sometimes parents, I saw parents ruin the prequels for kids, and I was like, I'm not gonna be that guy, But I'm wondering if the Obi-Wan show, if one of the subplots is Obi-Wan attempting to reach out and save any remaining Jedi after Order 66, but is 2 steps behind Vader. Oh, stuff. We'll get into all of that stuff pretty soon. As a kid, I cared about was the spaceship and lightsaber battles. Yeah, and it's like all of the real deep stuff. It's important that it's there. Like Star Wars can't get by without it. You know what I mean? Bear just said Star Wars was trash, bro. Fair enough. Yeah. Star Wars can't get by without that deep stuff. That's what gets you hooked. That's like the hook, that's what keeps you there. And you don't know it as a kid, but it takes time. And then that stuff, and then you grow into that stuff, and Star Wars grows, you grow with Star Wars, it grows with you, kind of thing. And you end up enjoying it for the rest of your life. And so I hope we don't ever get down to a dumbed down version of that, but here we are. We'll see. I know, like I said, I have nothing but faith in Kenobi, you guys. I really, really, truly mean this. Space wizards with laser swords. Yeah, I mean that's the fun part. But anyways, I hope everyone did it. I hope people enjoyed Star Wars or Book of Boba Fett more than I did. And if you didn't, look forward to this beautiful poster and this beautiful show. I think it's going to be good. And yeah, and what's today? Today's Wednesday. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow around 11 a.m. talking about Star Wars, doing our Star Wars jazz. And I've been updating MakingStarWars.net. I got it up and running. Everything's going to go with the site. So make sure you check the site every day for coverage. That way it's easier to follow along with the show, as I feel like these two things go hand in hand. And everyone, have a good night. Stay safe. And have fun.
It's not about spaceships.
Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show. Making Star Wars Show.